right, let's see. Oh, we've got Mark's jumping in here on us. Great. So very good. But yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit of everything tonight, and we'll just kind of see how it goes. And Mark, so are you the same Mark Hamill that we see on Steve's Zoo Crew?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yep.
I got to think about that the other day when I was listening to something. I was like, I bet that's Mark.
Yep. And I had to throw the ham in there.
Yeah. So, well, man, we've got a lot to talk about tonight for a short episode, and it looks like it may just be us. I know some of our usuals won't be here, but hey,
yeah,
it'll be the Mark Hamill and Lethargic Chewbacca show.
There we go.
Steve would be proud.
Yeah.
So, man, any exciting thing happening on the collecting front for you recently, or any new 3D creations you've come up with?
Not that I've come up with, but
Okay.
I did find some cool models I've been printing. I did I got
dude, check him out.
I get that on there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Little gun comes off.
Dude, you printed that Joker?
Yeah.
That's just what's up, Doc?
Yeah.
Yeah. So are those like for you? Are those things you're selling in your Etsy store, or?
Oh, they're just for me. These they're on like a marketplace for 3D designers.
Yeah.
And so I can't sell them.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So, but I have found a few loopholes a couple times.
Oh, I'm not hearing this, man.
Well, I didn't sell them.
Oh, just
some other stuff that I sold that I made it to where, because you know how collectors are. It's like, if you buy all four, you get this extra.
Right.
So I did that, and then one of the guys said, "You can't sell that." I was like, "I'm not selling it.
It's extra.
I'm giving it away when they buy the full set of my stuff."
So somebody actually tried to call you out on even. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
I've been shut down a couple times.
Oh, man.
My brother's the worst. Yeah.
Man. But I'm just amazed by what you can do with those Jokers, man. I keep telling myself I'm going to dabble in it, but I just have not gone off and done it yet. So
yeah.
So
no, it's just fun. So
yeah, I've made a couple of trips to some of our places around here are discount places like Bargain Hunt, Ollie's, and man, I went, and a buddy of mine gave me he sent me a message Friday night, and he had a cart full of not the Black Series, but Hasbro's Marvel helmets. He had a cart full of Black Panther ones, and they were selling for $12 each, and they're like 150, 125 on Hasbro Pulse.
Yeah. Oh, speak of that.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Let's see what we got. Mark's coming out, so I'm gonna take a peek over the Facebook Live side. All right. Let's see. I'm so excited. I don't know what it's gonna be. We'll see.
Black Panther related.
3D
printed Black Panther mask.
Dude, that one looks better than the ones they have. Wow.
Yeah. I didn't finish painting it on this side, but yeah. Yep. So, like I said, there's all kinds of stuff. I got Boba Fett helmet in there too. I mean,
do you buy any collectibles anymore besides Motu? Because you can pretty much make anything.
Yeah, that's about it. And at one point when I couldn't find some of the Motu figures, there's actually models that you can print off of the action figures.
Yeah.
For your collection. I was like, that's too far.
So I guess a question real quick, and we'll move on. When it comes to the 3D printing, so help me understand which one do you have? Do you have like the resin kind, or do you have what kind, or do you have both? Or
I don't have the resin.
Okay.
Where I don't have a place dark enough to do it in.
Okay, so that's
there's any light leaks from like windows or anything like that, it can make it cure, because it cures with UV.
Oh.
So if there's any light leaks, I'm sure I would be fine. But then again, it puts off a lot of fumes.
I was fixing. I heard that gives off a lot of ventilation. So
So, and I have it set up in here where I work, so I can work from home and then have these running too. But, I can make sure everything's going okay, and I couldn't do that with the resin. So I just have the filament.
Okay. Now, I guess, and this is leading into where I'd foresee myself doing 3D stuff. So like, could you make like 3 3/4 figures? Would that be more set for like a resin type deal, as far as the detail?
You can do them with the FDM printers.
Yeah.
They'll look a lot better with resin.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'd
A
heard.
lot better.
Because I'd love to get like start doing my own retro type figures or something like
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah, and they're coming down too. I mean, I saw, yeah, I forget how big it was, but it was only like $100. So I mean, you can get them now. They have like 12K resolution on them,
wow.
to where they're very detailed. It's just it's crazy.
Let's check. Oh, check that out. Yeah, yeah. The Ollie's near me. I don't know how familiar you are with Rome, Georgia, but we've got one on our west side of town, which is Rome is not very big. It's close to Steve's house, so I don't know if that helps anybody. But yeah, I went to Ollie's, went to Bargain Hunt, and I'm kind of a sucker for the Marvel Legends retro line, the little guys.
Yeah.
I like those. Just some of them. But I mean, Thor. I got Thor and Black Panther.
Yeah.
I think they're $5 each. Which isn't too bad. I think they were usually like 10 or something.
Yeah.
It came out, and so I got those. I picked up at Ollie's. I got the Emperor, the Black Series Archive. I think it was $10. I didn't have an Emperor, so I was like, I added that to my collection. But I'm not really doing too much adding right now. But I couldn't pass those up. So
yeah.
So
yeah, I got very limited room. It's like most of the stuff that I need to have out is over there in that closet.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I don't know where I'm gonna put it.
Yeah, I've kind of purged quite a bit. So, but
yeah.
But I'm being tempted by some of the stuff we're seeing Hasbro Pulse. So
yeah.
Let's get into that a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't know if it'll any of it, get you going, but let's see if I can find the recent stuff they just pulled up. Yeah, this works. And I'll share it so we can both look at it. And then those tuning in can see it as well. So, they did the little, I guess, the fan deal the other day, a fan stream, and they showed off some new vintage collection and Black Series. Can you see that there, Mark?
Yeah.
All right, so we've got the Black Series. You got the Marrok, you got Ezra, you got the HK Assassin Droid, and I think there was a Morgan as well. Then you got vintage collection with the HK Assassin Droid, Hera, Morgan. Oh, there may have been something else too, but what do you think, man? I mean,
was the Sabine too.
Oh yeah, the Sabine. That's right.
But it's not on a card.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the deluxe figure. It's in the box. You were I think showing it off this week. Which they've kind of gone that way with some of those deluxe deals for a while. First I thought it was the package free the plastic free packaging. But I think they just embraced that now for the deluxe stuff.
Well, that's what I thought too. And I was like, well, man, it comes with, she's got her helmet, the low cat, and there's a lot of stuff in there. So I guess it makes sense.
Yeah. I don't know about the price point, but
yeah.
So being that any of these you like, man, I gotta get that, or you kind of like, whatever.
I've gotten to where I like the vintage stuff better than the Black Series.
Okay. Yeah.
I just like the card.
Yeah. Yeah, I lean more towards the vintage collection side, 3 3/4, because like you said, the card is in itself is on point there and throws throwback to the past.
Yeah.
What are we to make though? And I don't want to get too far ahead though, dude, but what are we to make of the fact that Ezra's getting a figure? Okay. And we've only seen a hologram of him. And then Marrok has got a figure, but there's no sign of a Balin or a Shin figure. I mean, I know Hasbro's in the dark just as much as we are, they say.
And they're in the same pose too.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So the assassin droid though.
He's starting to stoke the fire already, guys and gals. So,
stir that pot.
Yes. All right, let's see. I think I got another one here. Whoa, where'd he go? It stopped sharing. Okay, let's see if I can pull up another one.
Now, I like the Ahsoka figure.
Yeah, the Ahsoka figure is pretty cool. See if I've got that one. Well, okay, here we go. This is it's not a very big image, but this is the retro line that they're coming out with, which that's one that's going to get me definitely wanting to get back in it, I have a feeling. So, all right, let's see. I think I've got you. There we are. I honestly, I think I know how to use technology. I really do. So the Ahsoka retro is the same as what they released on the, I guess, the Mando, but she's got that soft goods cape or hood or whatever. The Sabine, then you got the Hera, the Chopper, man. Did you see the images? Oh, that's gonna be a must. Oh, it's classic with the stickers and everything.
Oh yeah.
And then here we are again. We got Morgan, the HK droid, and then here's Marrok again. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll get into it, but I don't know. But my thing is, and I heard, you may listen to him as well. What's his name? Chris with galacticfigures.com. Do you listen to him? Or he does his own podcast, but he's got his website's phenomenal, just like an archive or database of just all Star Wars action figures.
Yeah.
I was listening to his recent podcast, and he was excited about these retro figures too, but he's like, we're still waiting though on multiple waves they've already revealed. So like, let's see if I can find that, so they've revealed, some Book of Boba Fett ones, or at least pipelined them.
Yeah.
So we're waiting on those. Let me pull that up real quick. And how many? Let's see. I think there's like 7 or 8 of those. Yeah. So we're waiting on. They didn't show us any card images, but these guys here, and got this from Toy Habits here. Just give them some credit. But I mean, you're looking at 8 figures right there that are still in the queue, and then they revealed at whatchamacallit, the San Diego Comic-Con, the Phantom Menace ones too. So, and I had to grab a screenshot for it, but
yeah, I haven't seen those.
Yeah, I'll see if I can get what it is.
There was no Mando in the Book of Boba Fett?
Well, there was. It was down in the bottom corner. It's one with the dark saber.
Oh, okay. No, I thought that was Moff Gideon.
Oh, yeah. So the Phantom Menace wave is going to, which I think will be next year, because that'll be what, 25 years in 2024 for them.
Oh, don't say that.
Yeah. So, I know, right?
Oh.
Makes you feel old. Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, Darth Maul. But here's the thing: would you want these in retro style, like Kenner retro style, or would you want them like they came out originally? I don't know. I'm kind of mixed on that.
Yeah, but it would be cool to have them like the retro, but they weren't like that when they came out.
Mm-hmm. That's just food for thought. Food for thought. All right.
Being the Qui-Gon there, man, I saw a clip on I forget where it was, but it was Conan O'Brien interviewing completely drawing a blank on his name now.
Oh, Liam Neeson?
Liam Neeson, yes. About doing Phantom Menace, and he's like, yeah, when me and you and both, when we had our first, scene with the lightsabers, it was like, we grabbed it and he said action, and as soon as we held it up, we went
yeah.
And they said, George was like, cut, because like, that was great, guys, but we'll add that in afterwards.
I bet. Yeah, it just happens. You've done it as a kid. So now let's check in on the HasLab. Let's see where they're at. All right. So they need unlock it all is what, 17,000? So they're still about 5,000 away with 6 days left. So you want me to go ahead and put in your information right here, Mark, for you?
Yeah, just go put the rest of them in there.
Yeah, just go ahead. Fill out
5,000. That's good.
All right, go right ahead. But yeah, I think it's if they got the tiers down here. Yeah, way down here at the bottom, I'm sure. So they've already unlocked Ezra. They haven't unlocked Kanan, so he would be the next one. And then you run up on Zeb. And I did hear on the one of the broadcasts or something, if they unlock the Zeb, they're gonna make Sabine and Sabine and Chopper available on this card to be sold separately. Not a part of this. It'll be sold separately, like on Hasbro Pulse.
I like those cards.
Yeah, I like them too. They're really cool. I like that.
I'll just buy the card if I could.
Yeah. So we've had our update on HasLab. We kind of talked a little bit about the toys. I think it's time we turn the page, if you will, and let's talk about Ahsoka episode 3, part 3, whatever they call it. So, so what do you make of this before we get into the episode itself? Of course, when they have the little intro deal, see Lucasfilm, and then it does the little heads and stuff, and I noticed it last week, but didn't say anything about it. But what do you make of the fact that Marrok's head's in there? Now, granted, I will say an HK droid, what's his name? Hu Yang's in there, but then Marrok's head's in there. Are they just leading us along? What do you think, Mark?
To be honest, I skip all that.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I
the little button shows up. Skip.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, go ahead. Let's go.
That's what my boys do. Dad, why are you watching? There might be something in there.
Yeah. I'm gonna go back and watch it. I'll let it run through, but I don't make to watch it yet.
I guess it was one of the episodes of Obi-Wan, and I went through it all, and they had this weird thing I could never figure out. I kept going back to it and stopping it. I could still never figure out what it was.
Yeah.
And it was only on one episode that they showed it like that. It was just
I always thought it was just they flashed up, of course, like some of the main ones, and then whoever would be like prevalent in that episode.
Okay, maybe.
That's how I always took it.
Okay, maybe. I may have to pay a little more attention now to see if Mark's theory is right. He's not doing many theories this time around, guys, but that one may be on point. We'll see.
That's not a show theory.
Okay, not a show. Okay. That's just about the way things go.
Yeah.
All right. So, episode 3, Time to Fly. So what of course, Master and Apprentice was episode 1. We saw how that fit pretty well with everything. Episode 2 was Told in Trouble. We talked about that, the witchcraft and all that jazz. Time to Fly. What do you think it was talking about? Yeah, I was racking my brain. It's like, I don't know.
I mean, the obvious thing is they flew. I mean,
they flew. That's
kind of like I couldn't put that one together.
Yeah, when they show the title and then the next thing you see is those A-wings coming across the screen, I was like, okay. But I wonder if it was more directed at, we don't get too far ahead again, but Ahsoka's space aerobics that she was doing out there. I mean, she's flying around. I don't know.
Possibly. Yeah.
So it could go a bunch of different ways.
I wasn't too much of a fan of that, but
did you have flashbacks of Last Jedi in that?
It was all right until she, floated in front of the window, and she was like, "Did you fix the ship yet?" And I'm just like, that's cool for animated, but
yeah. Well, I think by that point there's if I remember, I'll talk about it when we get there. But I think there's a switch that's flipped in Ahsoka. That part. Oh, I'll go ahead. That part when they're trying to get away from the fighters that are after them, and you could just see her. She's just visually frustrated, and then she just kind of resigns and asks Sabine, "What do you need?"
Yeah.
At that point, I mean, she kind of changes.
Yeah.
It's almost like she let her guard down and she realized, okay, I can't do this by myself anymore.
We got to work together. Yeah.
Yeah. So then she was
even. What's the droid's name? Huang.
Hu Wong or Hu Yang. Yeah.
Hu Yang. Yeah. He even says that. He says something to the fact is like, y'all need to work together. Right. She finally just like, yeah, we do, whatever.
Yeah, and when she embraces it, though, I think she was a little more lighthearted. That comment, and then she seemed to be more understanding when they're all that stuff. So, so things might be a little different moving forward. So
it was good to see kind of the iciness.
Yeah,
go away.
Yeah, because it was pretty freezing cold for the first couple of episodes.
I was after the first 2 episodes. I was like, I don't know if I'm sold on Filoni being a live action director because puts emotion out of these.
Yeah, and I was thinking Rosario Dawson is she's no Ashley Eckstein, but maybe we can begin to see the light dawning here. So
I saw a one review that's talking about her and it was like she does great looking the part.
Yeah, oh yeah.
She hasn't done anything yet. She just looks the part.
Yeah, she's pulled it off. I mean, so we'll see where it goes. Well, I guess we'll systematically work through the episode. Jay's not here to make fun of me and my agenda, so hopefully you won't do that, Mark. That's what last week I said I was going to ban him. I really did. That's why he's not. No,
it's not anyone here. Okay.
No. Let's see. I think Sarah. Oh, she's swapping to Facebook. All right. Well, let's check over there, see how everybody's doing. Wise. Yeah. Ted's like, Yang is wise and a wise, whatever too. So I got you, brother. So don't get the pastor cussing, man. I don't want to be having to use foul language on here reading those comments. So all right. So we open up their training on the T6 or Ahsoka's ship, using the different forms, which is really cool. Kind of sold me on the fact that, or maybe I didn't even show the preview of it, is maybe get a Hu Yang Black Series figure, just because if it's got those multiple arms and stuff, I think that'd be a great thing to display. So I was impressed by that for sure. It brings up the different, shows the different forms, not good, not bad situation, just a little rusty. And then they do the whole throwback to A New Hope, of course, at the blind form. So I assume everybody and their mama caught, when she said it. What does it say? I can't even think about it. I can't see. How am I supposed to fight?
Right. Yeah.
Word for word. If you just add in, what Luke says, with this blast shield down, I can't see. How am I supposed to fight? That's the only difference. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy. And it's kind of cool too. You think about New Hope, which is, obviously before this, but Obi-Wan didn't have, the conveniences of I guess you could say the equipment that Ahsoka has in her ship. And he just, impromptu uses his circumstances.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a helmet, a blast shield. Now let's use it.
Yeah.
So with that training ball and all that jazz. So, but it was a neat scene for sure. Just kind of setting the table for where we're going to head.
Well, I thought that the mask that she wore, first thing I thought was like, that looks like Marrok's helmet.
Yeah, with the vent.
But it was all closed off. But I was just like,
honestly,
something he stole and painted.
Well, I was thinking that, and I was also thinking, is this Storm Shadow? What's going on?
Yeah.
My boys had a mask not too long ago, because they'd get those, ones that are just the front, and one of them for sure is Storm Shadow mask from the G.I. Joe line. They had a snake eyes too, but the Storm Shadow looked just like that. Had the red logo up here. I was kind of like, okay, we got Storm Shadow in here, and they're going at doing some martial arts. So, but Ahsoka has that great line in there. What is it? The anger and frustration are quick to give power, but they also unbalance you. Yeah, typical warning of the dark side there for sure. So. So we see a little bit of that happening in that first one. Then we start to get into some of that was good. It was a good episode to kind of get a glimpse of Jedi training and all that, and what it looks like now, and how much she's got to go, growth left in her. But then we roll into back on the home one, and Hera has the meeting with the senators, the hollow meeting.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that, man? Any takeaways from that, or any comments you think in regard to that meeting?
I mean, I thought it was cool that they did it because it mirrored what happened at the end of Mando season 3 when they all had that whole meeting talking about Thrawn. I was just like, okay, it's poetry. It rhymes,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was. I was wondering if anybody's going to catch that, but it's the backwards, where Gideon was like, Thrawn's not around, where they were all like, oh, he's coming.
Yeah.
Well, you flip the switch now. Hera's like, he's here, and they're all like, oh, he's not around.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they just want to say it's her looking for Ezra. So.
So that makes you think. Of course, there's so many questions about what's happened in the timeline since Ezra disappeared, and here. How well known is it that her and her crew have used resources to go try to find Ezra? Because what is the guy's name? Zeno or Zano or whatever his name is. Senator. What's that?
I think it was Zeno.
Yeah, Zeno. He asked that. Are you sure this isn't another ploy, basically, for you to go find Ezra and use our resources?
Right.
So that's kind of common knowledge. They've been looking for him and not hiding that. Yeah, it was interesting to see just kind of how complacent and how they were not. I'm sure Mon Mothma feels like her hands are tied. It's always good to see her as well, as far as she's done a good job with that role. Did I understand, is she the Supreme Chancellor? Is that what they called her, or Chancellor at least?
At least Chancellor, yeah.
Okay. So that does that put her? I don't know where that puts her in the hierarchy of things in the New Republic. I guess we don't have a break. We need a diagram. We need to see how this is. I need to see where Leia fits in. I need to see where everybody fits in here. But yeah, so they have the meeting. Of course, it goes south. And I heard the guys on RFR talking. The Ziano guy is actually the dad of Kaz from the Resistance series.
Oh yeah.
I didn't realize that. I was just like,
that one the breakdowns, yeah.
Yeah, so bridging the gap here, connecting the dots. Did you watch any of that Resistance?
I didn't.
We watched a little bit of it, and then mainly because it had different colored troopers in it. I mean, granted, they were First Order troopers, but they had a red and a gold and all this crazy stuff.
Okay.
And then the story just kind of went crazy, so we're like, we're out. So, and then Lucasfilm said, we're out too. They bailed on it. So it's when they bailed on it, I didn't feel so bad about not continuing. Yeah. But we do see Jason's brought up finally.
Yep.
So that was neat. And then we met him in the hallway. He's even got green hair, or at least green highlights.
Yeah.
So connecting it back to.
So that probably is in the trailer.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. So another appearance confirmed with the trailers. Yeah, we were watching some of the trailers the other day. One of my youngest son, he was like, "Okay, we've seen that. So he's like, "Why have we seen most of it?" So that's what they usually do with the trailers, like the first couple episodes. They'll throw one or two other things in there. So he was kind of making some odd observations about that. But what do you make of his quote there in the hall? He's like, "I want to be a Jedi." She just stares at him like,
Yeah. First thing that ran through my head was, the academy burning.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's like, I was like, you may start down that path, but
yeah.
Well, so help me think through that. So the academy burning obviously was a prelude to Ben becoming Kylo.
Right.
So where would that fit on the timeline? Because Force Awakens is what, 30 years after Return of the Jedi? Is that what it said?
I believe so.
Okay. So right now we're sitting at what, 4 or 5 years after Return of the Jedi? Somewhere in that point.
Yeah.
So we've got 25 years until Rise.
Yeah.
And not Rise, but Force Awakens. We back it up.
Yeah, because they did that comic, The Rise of Kylo Ren.
Oh, okay.
Before The Rise of Skywalker. Okay. But it went back and it kind of laid the pathway for how Palpatine returned. But it goes into the whole him becoming Kylo Ren, what happened at the Academy, him escaping, talking to Snoke, meeting up with the Knights of Ren and all that stuff. So it was pretty good.
Yeah, I think I may have read the first issue of it.
Yeah. I think it was only like 3 or 4.
I knew it wasn't long. It wasn't a big arc.
Yeah. But it gives you a good little background of the Knights of Ren.
I bet they because they're usually pretty good about putting a year stamp on those, like where it fits.
Yeah. I mean,
go back and see. But I guess the long story short is if we're at 5 here after Return of the Jedi, and then when we get to Force Awakens, we're at 30, where did he burn the temple down, I guess? Right. Or when so how much time would Jason have time to develop if he did become a Jedi, or Sabine for that matter, or know? So yeah, just so many questions, and you won't come up with theories, so I don't know what I'm gonna do.
He did look a lot younger in the flashback, so
yeah, that's true.
I would say 10-15 years.
Okay, all right. So you're saying 10 or 15 years prior to Force Awakens? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, since the burning, so we're 5. So yeah, probably, yeah.
Okay. All right. So that puts us 20 years after Return of the Jedi, 20, 50, 15 either way.
Yeah, because that'll put Ben at what, 16 to 18?
Right.
For training, and then
We're doing Star Wars math over here, and this is not going well for my brain right now. So maybe we should move on.
Too late.
Too late for that mess. All right. So then we get to Sabine and title character Ahsoka sitting down and talking about the Force, the cup and all this stuff, and she's already talked about Hu Yang's comments about her aptitude for the Force being so low, so her self-esteem's a little low, and Ahsoka tells her everything has a living force in it, and it just takes talent, focus, and training. So let's seriously consider Sabine's Jedi potential. Okay, we know that she's becoming one, and most of the chatter online, everybody's like, I see that, whatever. But let's really think about it. Let's do this. Let's say she's applying for a job as a Jedi. Let's create her resume that she can post on Indeed.com. There's an ad right there if you ever need one. But what is on her CV? What's on her resume that would prepare her for being a Jedi, or would give us indicators that she could be a good Jedi? Because a lot of people are hating on her, but Luke, what do we know about Luke before he came in Jedi? Nothing. Other than he was a pretty good pilot. Yeah. Anakin was a good pod racer.
Yeah.
They've got some bloodlines.
But it was like Luke never was like, oh, I can move that, and I don't know why.
Yeah, right. Every time I go in there to get blue milk, I move it across. None of that happens.
I don't know. It just comes to me.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. First thing we put on there, she's a Mandalorian. Okay. Yeah. Mandalorian. Sorry, I keep getting these notifications. People are sending me emails. Junk mail. Mandalorian. She was Imperial cadet. All right. Mm-hmm. And didn't she create some special machine that melted Mandalorians or something too?
I think so.
Yeah. So she's got this aptitude for technology and all these things, even at a young age. Okay. Yeah, because that machine would like disintegrate the Beskar or something and kill the people inside. It was a serious deal, and she did it to her own people essentially, which that was I guess a scar that she had to wear. But
the Jedi don't really like the Mandalorian, so
that's true. So maybe that kind of goes in. That would be a plus in the job interview. She could really camp out on that.
Yeah.
Killed a lot of my own people because
I had the Darksaber for a little bit.
Yeah, I had the Darksaber. Obviously, it was part of the Spectre crew or the Rebel cell that was on Lothal. And then of course they got into all kinds of hijinks and helped kind of get things rolling as far as the rebellion's concerned. What else? Well, one other thing that I didn't catch until I was watching one of the episodes with my boys this week. They wanted to watch some of the episodes of Rebels when they go back to Mandalore with Gar Saxon and all those guys. And there's a scene in there where they're talking to Sabine, and he makes mention of the fact that she's from the House Vizsla, and I'd forgotten that.
Yeah.
And Tar Vizsla was the only Mandalorian to be a Jedi and created the Darksaber.
Yeah.
Now, granted, we're looking at probably 1,000 years removed, but she's got it in her bloodline. That's probably pretty diluted by now. But
yeah.
So I'm just saying, her aptitude for all these things, great demolitionist, an artist, all these things.
Yeah.
Before Ahsoka takes her under her umbrella, under her arm to train her, she's a pretty good candidate.
Yeah. Not everybody can be Rey.
Yeah, right. No, that's right. Not everybody can be a junker that nobody knows and just shows up and can whip anybody. Nobody ever do that. No.
Lift rocks and all.
Yeah, lift rocks. No real training. Yeah. Oh yeah. Not everybody could do that. So I'm just saying, world, listen to me. Sabine is a good candidate. I'm not so much sold on it, but I just say she's a good candidate, all things considered. Now, you did notice what they did though in this episode, right? About her little flight suit, jumpsuit that she was wearing that was dark the whole time. It had to been trying to make it look like Luke.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think so. I don't know. So.
But see, I think too that she's too much of a wild card. That she'll end up turning bad, turning to the dark side.
I think so. See, I think. Okay, sorry if I just throw a theory out. I think Ahsoka, and they're going to unlock it, and she's going to be, she's going to find the Force, and she's just going to be awesome. Ahsoka's going to die. Okay. And she's going to take Jason, and she's going to train Jason. But they're all going to get killed somehow before. I haven't put all the pieces together. But I think because Hera has a great affinity for Sabine, was always in her camp. And, Jason's going to try to become a Jedi, and she's going to start some training, and we'll see how it goes. But Ahsoka's going to die, I think. Maybe not in this series, but maybe the next one. So, or season, I should say.
I think in the movie.
Yeah, movie. Yeah, because, we hear her voice at the end of Rise of Skywalker. So we don't know for sure that means she dies, but most of those other voices are dead, or all of them were, I should say.
Yeah.
And that one quote, I wrote it down because I don't want to forget about it. Hu Yang says, talking about taking her as a trainer, says, you come from a long line of non-traditional Jedi.
Yeah.
So you look at Sabine and Ahsoka, Anakin, Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, Dooku, Yoda. Yeah, this is a good point.
Yep.
So we'll see how it goes. All right, finally we get to the dogfight outside the Denab system. Dude, I was loving those ships. I gotta have one of those now.
Good to finally see a good dogfight in Star Wars. It's been too long.
Yeah, it has been a while. I couldn't help but think, though, man, of and I'm sure everybody did. This isn't like groundbreaking news, but thinking of some of the War II type stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, my first thought was that it was a nod to Red Tails.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's another movie there. There was a Disney property movie there too. So
Lucas.
Yeah, that's right. So it may very well been. I forgot all about that connection. You're right. You're on point with that for sure. But we get reintroduced, or not reintroduced. We get a chance to see Shin, and we get to see Marrok, and they're leading the two squadrons coming after them, blowing them up.
Yep.
And Jaime's jumping in the room here, going them after them, disabling the ship and everything. But we notice Marrok is a little bit, I guess you could say, submissive or subservient to Shin.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, she's telling him what to do, and he's like, as you wish. He's got that creepy voice.
I posted in another group. I was like, I figured out who Marrok is. And they're like, who? I was like, it's Wesley. And they're like, who? And then I posted the as you wish.
Yeah, as you wish. Yeah, we'll take him on. Hey, what's up, Jaime? I think you're muted, brother. Come on in.
How's it going?
Hey, man, we're sitting here talking episode 3 of Ahsoka. We're about we're probably 3/4 of the way through talking about it. Then we'll all kinds of stuff. Where are you at now? You at home? Or you on the road?
I'm in Cincinnati, Ohio.
All right. Now, Jaime, have you met Mark before? You guys met before?
I'm not sure.
No. Yeah. He's a longtime member of this group and so many others. But he's always on the road. He travels a lot. So when he's at a hotel room or whatever, he pops in, he eats cheese and talks to just playing. He always
absolutely in a hotel room right now.
Yes. He's always on the go, but man, he's an integral part of all of our groups. So well, brother, we like I said, we just got to the part. Have you seen the Ahsoka episode this week?
Yes, sir, I did.
All right, great. So we're at the part where they have just showed up outside they came out of hyperspace. They're at the Denab system, and we've got the squadrons have showing up there with Shin and Marrok, and they're going after him. We see, of course, Sabine goes to the tail gun, and she's trying to take a shot, and of course, everybody's in their minds brought back to the Falcon and the New Hope, of course.
Of course.
she finally gets one, and she said, "Whoa, I got one." I was just waiting for Ahsoka to go, "Oh, great, kid, don't get cocky," but that didn't happen.
That's right.
It would have been two on the nose, I guess. I don't know. So, oh, but you see, like I said, Marrok is, I guess, submissive to Shin in that, so that tells us a little bit about their relationship. I've been thinking a lot about this Marrok character, and I know there's all kinds of theories out there. And Mark's talked about them. Well, Jaime, have you got any theories that you've been mulling over about this Marrok character, or are you just kind of waiting and seeing?
I'm just pretty much just kind of step back and see what happens and how it develops, basically.
Yeah, you're not getting too involved in all that. That's probably wise. That being said, I have something to show you. So, of course, they've kind of embraced the idea, which I think we all assumed it because of his saber and everything, that he was a former Inquisitor or whatever. And some of the Star Wars media I saw over this past week, emails they sent out, and check this out, highlighting, and they note that he's a former Inquisitor. So I got to thinking, I've seen him before, seen someone like him before. So I went back to some comic books, and back in 2017, they did a line of Vader. Marvel did a Vader line in 2015, and then they redid it again in 2017. I think it was maybe the fourth or fifth issue. He goes in and he's training the Inquisitors.
Right.
And so I went and looked back at that episode, or that issue, and I want to show you guys what I found. Let's see here. Here's one image. Is Vader's up here with the Emperor, and this guy right here, I know it's kind of hard. Wow, he might be stretching it here, but he looks like him. But I've got another shot of him here. We'll stop sharing him and pull up the other one. Let's see if I can pull it up, and you guys tell me what you think when I get to it. If I can find the right window here. Yeah, honestly, I know how to work this stuff. Maybe. There's a chance I might know how. Okay, I think this is it. Yes, this is it. All right, pull it up for you. So I really think this helps us seal the deal. This guy right here, he sure looks a lot like Marrok.
Yes.
So and it maybe they just used it to inspire him or whatever, but dude, from everything here with the shoulder deals to his mask, I know his mask is a little more slimming, more knight-like, what we're accustomed to seeing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for sure that's him. And if I'm not mistaken, on one of the other slides, it calls him one of the brothers. Like they have all those crazy 6th, 7th brother and all that stuff.
Correct.
What they call him, but I don't know. Maybe that's him.
Oh, I think it is.
Yeah.
I really think it is.
The way they've gone back and if they've already acknowledged he's a former Inquisitor, so we'll go. But I guess it was who was it? Was it you, Mark? No, I don't think it was you. Somebody. Oh, Ricardo in the group today. He said that what if it's Kanan? I was like, oh, but the reality of it is, if you've got a one of these Night Sisters involved, they can bring people back. So anybody's fair game here. I mean, it could be Luke for all we know.
Right.
I mean, not Luke, but the clone Luke deal. I think you were talking about that one, Mark, with the
the clone Luke. Yeah,
Luke.
Yeah, the Thrawn trilogy.
Yes. So,
which
I just started listening, not to the Lair of the Empire ones, because I already did those, but I just started listening to the I guess the newer Thrawn trilogy recently.
Yeah, I went back and started listening to the original one again.
Yeah. Oh, so good. And ties in some little pieces here or there. So, other thing we see in this, I guess you'd say this segment of the show was there's tension between Shin and Morgan as well. Yeah, they're just
I felt that in the second one too.
Yeah, she kind of looks at her, kind of out of the side. You send this one here.
Yeah.
They're kind of, I think, and it may have been you, was talking about how they're Morgan and not Morgan, but Balin and Shin are using Morgan for their purposes, or vice versa.
I can see that.
Yeah, because talking about she wants Morgan wanted to get thrown back for this and that, but so what does that mean for us? Well, power that beyond what you can dream.
Yeah.
Right.
But we'll see. So in the midst of this dogfight, though, we got Mark's favorite scene where Ahsoka goes out in her spacesuit and does some space maneuvers, some aerobatic. I can't even say aerobatic. Acrobatic. I got nothing. So,
It kind of reminded me of Leia when she was sucked out of the ship and out into space and brought back. She brought herself back in, but I don't know, for some reason, just odd reason, really.
I'm glad that she didn't do exactly like Leia and do the Mary Poppins bit and all that stuff.
I know, right? It was ugly.
Yeah, it was ugly. I mean, I understand they can use she's got a suit on at least, so she's using oxygen from the suit. And I wouldn't mind having that figure. That's a cool looking. That would look like a cool figure, I think.
I don't know how she got it on so quick.
That's true. She's like, was it the Flash has that little deal in his ring?
Yeah.
He's like, and then and Iron Man, had the tech stuff, but I don't think that's part of this. Yeah. But she got it on quick. You're right.
Use the Force. It was the Force.
Use the Force. That's right.
And talking about figures, if you guys go to Ollie's, and I don't know if you guys live close to an Ollie's, they got so much Star Wars stuff.
No, I was just saying at the beginning, I picked up a new Emperor this week, or Emperor. I didn't have one for $10, and
wow,
so much. Yeah,
nice.
I went one day and they had just a ton, and I went back 2 days later because I was on that side of town, and they had just brought in a ton of vintage collection Hoth troopers.
Yes.
And I was just like, whoa, if somebody's building a diorama or army building, this is the place to be. It's just so there's all kinds of, and man, so many Marvel Legends as well.
Oh my gosh, everywhere. Yeah. Everywhere.
So, and usually it's like closer to Christmas when they get these, but they must have bought out all these lots now and got them on the shelf. So, and then but yeah, it's just a ton of stuff. I text Steve after I went in there. I was like, dude, I feel like that's probably not the best imagery. I feel like an addict, and I just left some place where I get my fix, and I had to run out of there as fast as I could. So
I know you can spend a lot of money, but you get a lot of stuff for that amount of money.
That's what I was trying to justify behind me, but I finally got out of there as quick as I could.
Dude, $4.50 for a vintage piece, or the the collection.
Yeah.
As far as $4.50, you can start picking them off the shelf. So
yeah, and they had those mission fleet, which they've got some pretty cool, like just the ships to display. They're smaller and they're like $5. Well, I think they're 12, 15 elsewhere. But I got sidetracked. But that's what we do. We're collectors. So,
right.
Ahsoka's in space. She shows her mastery of the Force, flying around, takes down a ship with her lightsaber.
Of course.
That way, when Rey does it, in Rise of Skywalker, it's
right.
Did it first in the timeline, I guess, and she did it in space, of all things, without gravity.
Right.
So they enter the atmosphere, and there they are, live action Purgles.
Yep.
Golly,
it's a great series.
Yes, it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So running up on these big old hyperspace whales. So I thought they did a really good job with the special effects this whole episode, honestly.
Yeah,
I think so. Yes.
Well, after I saw the Purgles, then I could kind of excuse the spacewalk.
Okay.
So they took the money for that and did this.
That's right. There you go. Yeah, because they got a limited budget of special effects per episode. So yeah.
At times it looked like somebody took just an action figure and just like, I was like, oh, come on.
I see your hand. I still see your
I had to bite into the Hasbro Labs Ghost Ship.
Oh, I was wondering if you did, Jaime, being that you're.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I just did it last night because I think you got 5 more days.
Yeah, we looked
before they're done.
Yeah, you're right up on it. I think right now it's at was it 12,000 something mark? I think right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So still a ways off to get to that 17, but I bet there'll be a big push right there at the end. They'll probably get to it.
Oh yeah.
But
oh yeah. They're I mean, they're right in it. They just got a few things to go, and they will get their mark and they'll get their money. So
the real question, Jaime, is where are you going to put that thing?
I have no idea. I got to actually, I bought your how do you call it? Legacy.
The Legacy Falcon, yeah.
Yeah, and I have two.
Oh my!
So yeah, the best thing about it is Tim Lawson had just a bunch of extra landing gears that I bought from him. So I'll be able to use those on yours.
Nice, yeah. Well, great.
But I work at it, trying to get extra room here and there, but it's getting a little tight.
Yeah, man. If you're going to get that Ghost, it's going to take up a whole blasted table.
I know it's big.
So, man. All right, we got just a little bit left here. So finally they escape. They go hide out in the forest. They power down. And then we go to Balin Skull, and he's there just sulking. And
right.
He says, the Jedi have taken refuge in the forest. Hunt them down. And then there we are. 31 minutes in, maybe.
Roll credits.
Full roll credits. Oh, I was like, when it started zooming in, I was like, Dad gummit, we're fixing it's about to be the end of this episode.
Yeah, but I feel like that he just, I know I keep going back to the Knights of Ren.
Yeah.
But he feels like it, like he's not really good, he's not really bad. Okay. He's doing what he needs to do to survive.
Okay.
That's right.
And I feel that I feel that him and Sin are of the Ren clan. They may not be Knights of Ren now, but I feel that's where they came from.
So in the comic there with Kylo, did they discuss any of the origins of the Knights of Ren or anything?
A little bit.
Yeah.
They are from the Outer Realm.
Okay.
So I mean, they would be more familiar with that area. I mean, really just got into like the whole, I don't say their culture, but I mean, they have to have like, in order to be in the Knights of Ren, you have to have a good death, which means you have to, which means you have to take somebody out that's close to you.
Oh, wow.
Like they're recruiting this one guy. It's him and his brother fighting these people at the beginning. And the one guy they don't call it the Force. I forget what they call it, but he was Force sensitive and they wanted him because the Knights of Ren are Force sensitive.
Right.
And they wanted him, but he couldn't do what he needed to do. His brother had the good death and off the one that they wanted. And they were like, he was like, let me join. They're like, well, you're not touched. So they just did away with him.
Oh.
So, but they did all that to set up what he does to Solo in Force Awakens. That's his good death to be an action.
Oh, okay.
But spoiler alert, in the comics, he actually kills the guy that was like the head.
Okay.
I guess Ren was his name, but Ren is actually the name of his lightsaber, and it's all about the lightsaber.
Wow.
It's really.
So that's why they're all following him around in Rise of Skywalker, because he's the lead of the Knights of Ren.
Oh, gotcha. But he never felt like he had a good death. So when he says, I know what I have to do, I don't know if I'm strong enough, that's what he's talking about, where he can be an actual Ren.
Oh, man. They had to take out Indiana Jones to do that. I mean, Han Solo. Well, by the way, I saw that the new Indiana Jones is now digital, so it won't be long. Yep. You guys can watch it. I think it's still ways off from Disney Plus, though. So that's the way they're talking. So.
Usually, what, a month or two?
Yeah, usually, but I think they said this may be a little bit longer timeline, so I don't know.
A lot of people said that they were just not really excited about it.
Oh, man. I went and saw it in the theater by myself. And there's a lot of great parts because of nostalgia. Now, there's some parts I was like, and I don't get into it, but
they used a lot of that to connect to the earlier Indiana Jones.
yes.
And I think they really did a good job on that.
Yeah. That's the good stuff. Get there. So.
Yeah.
Well, any other thoughts about Ahsoka episode 3? Any other things that you think are brewing in the background that we're going to see soon, or what? Where are we headed with it? Any thoughts?
It started.
Yeah, it's just got started. We're here at episode 3. There's only 8 episodes, so we're over a third of the way through it. What are you going to say, Jaime?
I was going to say that blonde girl. I just don't know her name.
Oh, Shin Hati.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. She's so strange, isn't she?
Yes.
I mean, she just stares at everything and just like she's almost waiting for something to happen, but it really doesn't happen. But she still has that look. You know what I mean?
She reminds me of another character, and I can't place what movie it's from, but it's just that same feeling. Like it's just kind of like just the way she's looking at stuff is just, it's off.
Right.
I mean, and
right.
the character has like a real pale skin, the blonde hair. I'm just like, who is this? I can't place the other character. But
right.
If I do, I'll post
she's
it.
So strange. Yeah. So strange. But a really good, what would I say? A conversation.
Okay.
Perhaps. She's just so strange. Just stares at everything and then says, "Okay, I'm good. I'll do it."
Now, Jaime, you have daughters, right?
Yes.
Now, was there times in your daughters' lives when they were like that, when they would just stare at you as their dad and they just look at you like, really? Because it looks like she's just staring at people like, really? You're just doing this mess.
Right. Unfortunately, my 22-year-old does that to me. She just looks at me and go, "Okay, what are you thinking?" And I try to tell them, the difference between you and me, is wisdom. My dad has that wisdom. He's, my dad's 83 years old, and always looks down on me, saying, "Well, you're only 53," and I kid you not. I went to visit him on Sunday, and we had this huge conversation about Moses.
Okay.
Because my dad loves to talk about the Bible. Okay. We had Moses conversation. We had, I showed him the Chosen One, some reels of the Chosen One.
Okay. Yeah.
and which is really, really phenomenal.
Yeah, it's a great series.
But anyways, he just comes back and forth on me right now, and it's just like I have this fighting thing with my dad. My dad loves to write, Christian music and everything else.
Okay. Wow.
And then I find my.
Oh no! What happened?
Oh,
are you there, Jaime? Oh, we may have lost Jaime. Oh,
no, I'm here.
There you are. There you are.
Okay, my wife is trying to call me.
So. Oh. She's like, I miss you.
So,
forget it. I'm talking Star Wars. And
right. My kids know everything and they stare at everything, but they lack wisdom. And it's so funny because my dad was the same way with me. And now that when I was younger, I did not understand that, but now I understand.
Yeah, I hear you, brother. I hear you, sure. So, but yeah, she's an interesting character, Shin Hati is, but you're right. She does kind of give that stare. It's like she's took a little bit more of a leadership role, I guess, in this episode. So,
did you notice at the end where she told Morgan, "Is like, oh, you almost had her."
Yeah.
She was like, "Don't worry, I got her." And then that look that Morgan had, she looked afraid. Like I don't know, there was something there.
Yeah, something's going on in that whole dynamic between Morgan and Balin and Shin Hati. So we'll see how it plays out. I'm gonna float this out there. I was listening on my commute today a little bit to the RFR guys, and they had their after show. I think it was last night or something. They always have that young man Blake calls in, Blake's Take and all that stuff. Cool kid, always really good stuff. Well, he brought up he really feels like this could be the chance, since Hera was turned down by the Senate with the fleet to come help. This could be the chance that Hera reaches out to Zeb, and Zeb comes and helps, and then the ghost shows up with Zeb and Hera and Chopper and Jason, and then of course there's no Ezra or whatever. I like where it's headed, but I want to throw this in because on our prediction show, I want to hold fast to this. I think that's going to happen. I think she's going to reach out to Zeb, but then he's going to look over across the bar at Carson Teva and say, "Hey, remember that Mandalorian that said that he'd help us out and he was up for hire or anything? We got a job." And then Mando comes in, and he comes in there, him and Baby Grogu, and they come in, and then it's on, man. That's what I'm saying. They're gonna rescue Ahsoka and Sabine, and it's just
it's all going to come together.
It is. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Mando's showing up,
and then instead of Mando riding the Rancor in, it's going to be Grogu riding a Lothcat in.
Oh yeah, or a Purgle. He's just going to jump on a Purgle.
Yep.
He's going to stand there at those ruins or whatever, the ruins, and he's going to call the Purgles in, and they're going to, I don't know. I got nothing. I do think this is how Mando comes in, because he's going to show up in this series at some point. He's going to show up in this series. I don't think Luke is not going to, because this is about Ahsoka and Sabine and all that. But Mando, he's showing up. It's Mando's world. So, and this is all about Mandalorians anyway. I mean, Sabine's the next, she's gonna become the new Jedi. She's from the Visla house. She's got the Luke jumpsuit on. I mean, it's all about so. I don't know. All right. Any other parting comments before we hang it up for the night, gentlemen? I think we've been going about an hour. Yep, just a little bit over that. So
I just want to say it took me this long to realize that Hera is Ramona Flowers from Scott Pilgrim.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. I was just like, I guess the green skin threw me off, I kept saying, where did I know her from? And I finally looked it up, that thing called Google.
Oh, I've heard about that. It's kind of an upstart thing.
You can type things in and it'll,
Wow. Is it pretty quick?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll have to try it out tonight.
Pictures and everything.
Oh, wow. Options. So.
Yeah. But awesome. I was like, that's right. Okay, that makes sense. So.
Now she's also, I guess, married to Ewan McGregor, right? Yeah. So a lot of Star Wars connections there within that couple for sure. So
but I did see another Force Awakens connection parallel.
Oh, okay. What is it?
We were talking about Rey earlier being so, remember how Rey could jump in the Falcon and fly it perfectly the first time and knew how to fix it without ever being on before?
Yeah.
Sabine did that.
No.
Oh, what'd she? Oh, she jumped in the.
She took over when.
That's right.
Doing the spacewalk, and then got fixed it, and then was like doing all these crazy maneuvers in it. And I was like, huh.
Yeah. Now she did have some time with it before. But we don't know when, but at some point before they separated, which we still don't know why they separated yet.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get some flashbacks.
Was it on that? Yeah, I guess it was on that ship, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, because she said, so where do you call in that first episode? Where do you call home? Here and she's so
the bunk now. Yeah.
Right.
But
still, yeah, there's still a lot of
for first time flying it.
Yeah, I agree. All right, well, gentlemen, we will reconvene next week. Hopefully, we'll get a little bit more of the story. I mean, I enjoyed this episode. A lot of action. It was good.
It was really good.
Yeah, I just wish it was longer. I could have enjoyed more action, but
I know
we kind of got spoiled the first week with 2 episodes. So, what's that, Mark?
The only theory that I have.
Oh, let me write it down. Go ahead.
All right. Is that scene in the trailers of Thrawn will be the very last scene of the series of the season?
Yes, I was going to ask you guys. So you're thinking the last scene of the season. What about you, Jaime? When do you think we're going to see Thrawn in this series?
I don't think we will see him until another not this series. I don't think.
So you're
I think
thinking
they'll play it up.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they'll play it up till the end. We might see him on the last, I think, episode, but very little, and they'll just kind of hook us on, basically.
Okay. So you guys are saying episode 8 then, of 8 of 8.
Yep.
I'm going to say 7. I'm calling it 7.
Oh.
All right, write it down.
I see that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I think it'll be at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
So
I mean,
I could feel 7 and 8 being like a one part,
right.
like continuing, you know, part one, part.
Right.
Yeah, because
they're gonna bleep this out.
Oh, what's the next series supposed to be that comes out in the Star Wars stuff? Is it that kid one, Skeleton Crew or something? Or is it the Acolyte? Which Acolyte's way before this?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I know
I think Acolyte.
Yeah.
If they take their, I'm fine. Take your time. Take as much time as you need. I don't need it all crammed and.
No, because then we'll be wanting something else. So yeah, anticipation.
Yeah.
So
the biggest thing about this whole thing, Disney, regardless of whatever, they just keep this series going, and which it's something that I really wanted. I really wanted to keep Star Wars alive.
Yeah.
And they're just going to keep going, and I really love that. I really, really enjoy that.
Yeah, it's nice having new Star Wars content every so often.
Yes.
Quite a long drought between different trilogies and all that. So, but it's
right.
Just as we were talking earlier, man, next year is 25 years for Phantom Menace. Tommy, can you believe that?
That is crazy.
And then you get
that is crazy.
2027, you're looking at 50 years for A New Hope. That's wild.
That's crazy.
And the pre, like the Phantom Menace and the Clone Wars and so on and so forth, people never really accepted those until this point.
Yeah, sure.
Really just, they've just really bled it into the original 3 and said, yeah, it is a part of it. And it's going to be a while from the post, original 3 to those bleed in, but people will eventually enjoy those, go, okay, I see the story, and and you're just continuing this whole thing,
Yeah, I think
so I'm hoping when I'm 79, if I ever will be, that there's still some Star Wars going on.
It'll be going. It'll still be going. It'll be
right.
Jason Sindola and his adventures as a Jedi.
Right.
The scaredest I've ever been was with the midnight showing for Phantom Menace. I had friends that worked at the movie theater.
Okay.
So they're like, hey, call when you get here and we'll walk you up. So I got walked in front of all these people that had been standing in line.
Oh.
For a day and a half.
That's what you used to have to do.
I walked right in front of everybody. I was like, I'm going to die. I was getting yelled at, screamed at. I was like, they're going to think these lightsabers are real and try to kill me with it. It's like, I don't like this. I'm scared. So I didn't go in and immediately sit down because then they would know that was me.
Yeah.
I just kind of like wandered around for a little bit.
Wait till more people show up.
I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to make it out of here.
You weren't in costume or anything, were you, Mark?
No.
So there he is. Yeah, I remember that, dude. I was, I think it was a year out of college, and a bunch of my buddies were still in college. So I took off the day and I sat in a lawn chair out in line all day. Man, I sunburned my legs like crazy, but dadgummit, we got to see the first showing in our little town.
Just imagine somebody walking right in front of you.
Oh yeah, I would have been mad. I've been sitting in the sun all day reading my Star Wars books, talking to my geek friends, and you.
I was thinking, man, he's gonna like bring me in like the side entrance and employee entrance. Nope, right in front of everybody. I was like,
right in front of everybody.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
that's funny.
Well, guys, I think it's time to wrap it up. I appreciate you hanging out with us. So we'll kind of see if there's any last comments over on the Facebook side.
And I'm glad everybody had a good sense of humor about my Photoshop.
Oh yeah, yes, that was hilarious. Yeah, keep them coming, man. Keep them coming. It's good to see a lot of activity on the page here lately. So I'm still loving Jay's figure of the days too. So
oh yeah, I love that.
So well, guys, be good. We'll see you next week. We'll see you around the cantina, of course, but we'll come back live next Thursday and discuss episode 4, and maybe we'll learn who Marrok is. No,
there you go.
He's Marrok.
He's Moroccan Inquisitor. That's it. So
that's of course.
All right, guys. You have a great rest of the week and a great weekend.
You too.
See you guys. Take care.
Take care. Bye.